Welcome back to Mark's Racing Engines, Mark and Missy's Performance. Today is going to be part 2 of this 400 crack. So we fixed the crack on the one side, now we're going to fix the crack on the other side. And I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to throw the Magnaflux around here. We're going to get an idea where this crack starts and stops and whatever. I mean, I can see it. It goes right into there, but I'm going to make sure there's no more cracks in here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to drill at an angle on the ends. Like somewhere in here, like so. I need to get more of a idea where the crack is. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover that crack from here to the inside. We're going to cover it with the repair pin and then cut it off back here so that we don't have to remachine the freeze plug hole. If you break out the side of the freeze plug hole, or if you get it too close, then what can happen is it will you'll have to remachine that. We don't want to do that. So we're either going to drill it right at the edge of the hole, which then when you put sealant on the freeze plug, it will seal that little bit of crack left, or we're going to drill it sideways. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to drill sideways, but I'm going to go ahead and Magnaflux this first. We're going to get a better idea of where the crack is, and then I'll show you on this shot. We'll swap back and forth here. Okay, anytime you're Magnafluxing, and by the way, you can buy a Magnaflux machine. Summit, I think, sells them, and I bought this one on Speedway years and years ago. Now, I use this machine specifically for cast iron, cylinder heads, blocks. Now, crankshafts and rods, that's a different story. I use the wet mag over there, and I'll show you that in another video. It's a whole different process. I'm going to go ahead and Magnaflux over here too, make sure we don't have any over here. Okay, so the only thing showing up is right there where we could see already. Right here. So that's a common freeze crack. I can see where it goes around in the inside the freeze plug hole. Let me try to get a close up of that. Maybe shed some light on this situation. You can see that faint line right there where it comes all the way through, you know, from one side to the other. I think you can see that in the camera. So now what we're going to do is we're going to punch it here, and we're going to drill sideways to cover that crack. We may put one through it. I'm going to start out with a 9/64 drill bit. We're going to use a small pin, see if we can cover it with that, and we might have to maybe drill it out to the bigger size. I don't know. I should have had all this set up already, but I didn't. So, I think I'm going to come in right there. Well, maybe let's move it back a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if I like that either. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to come in right here. There we go. Okay. Now that we've got that drilled, or punched, we're going to come in at an angle just like so and drill right across that crack. Y'all don't laugh at me. I'm blind as a bat. Sometimes I wear 2 pairs of glasses. I'm so blind. All right, now that I can get a general idea of what we're looking at here. We're going to magniflux that one more time. Okay. All right, we can see the crack right there, so we want to make sure we drill right at that angle, right through that bottom of that.
It was at this moment he knew he fucked up. Now, guys, I'm probably a bigger hothead than Bill at the old man's garage. But I'm trying to keep this clean just like he would, so I did what he would do, and that is just quit talking. So, right here, what you're going to see me doing is analyzing and trying to fix the situation. Best thing I could figure is to do what I should have done in the first place, and that is drill this where I should have drilled it in the first place. You're going to see me drill across that crack. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to analyze where I should drill this and cross drill it across the other pin. So here I'm going to go ahead and put this pin in. And this is a 235 pin. And we're going to go into super speed here and see me tap this in super speed mode. Now, right now, I'm so pissed off, I just can't even think. So, I'm like, I can't believe I did this on camera. Fuck this up on camera. Anyway, so, but any engine builder, machine shop, whatever says they don't screw up, well, they're lying. I'm just showing you I screwed up. I didn't try to hide it. I'm going to show you how we fix it. And I've done this before where I've screwed up. So, everybody does it. So now I've got that drilled. I've got that tapped for a 235 pin. I'm going to put this 235 pin in here. Just like you've seen me do in the other video. I'm not saying much here. I'm just look how mad I am. Come on, fat boy. Say something. You know you want to. I'm thinking all kinds of cuss words in my head right now. By the way, this was I edited a lot of this out because I was cussing and throwing stuff and mad and whatever. So we're gonna put this repair pin in. We see the crack across there. We gonna get it done. We gonna prevail. Now, had I not been able to fix this, because once I put this pin in right here, it actually goes all the way across the crack. So what we're dealing with is the gap that's right there in the freeze plug hole. Now, I could have brazed that up. That was an option I thought about. But that would have taken more time and whatever. So pinning across it the other direction, and I'll show you in just a second what we're going to do. Here we're going to hear me cuss. Well, maybe we didn't. So I'm going to break this one off. Now, I'm going to drill across it the other direction. I cut a bunch of this out because I had to sit there and analyze how I was going to drill this. I had to get precisely the right angle. Now, I'm just basically putting this... I'm basically punching that in where kind of I want it, and I'm eyeballing where I need to drill it and adjusting it as I go, because I need to drill not only just across the, I need to drill through the pin, but I need to drill it kind of sideways through it. So I don't want to take the whole pin out. So I'm kind of drilling sideways through it. Because we don't want to drill right through the center of it. There won't be no pin left. So I drill kind of down and at an angle. So right here we're going to run the 200 pin, 200 tap through there, which is a smaller tap. I'm going to try to get as least amount of it in as I can, but as much as I can to cover that big gap that I have there in the freeze plug hole. I'm not so concerned with the outside of the hole as I am with the inside of the hole. I need to have some surface there for the freeze plug to seal in. And we'll see that here in just a second. So now we're running that back out. I'm still pissed off at myself. Still cussing myself. Why did you do this? Why didn't you run it in? Why didn't you drill that other hole, you stupid asshole? Anyway, that's what we're doing right now. In the end, we're going to prevail. I'm analyzing. Doing more analyzing. Thinking, make sure we got this. The key to this is, guys, is if you're going to do this, you're going to make mistakes. And if you do, don't panic. Just figure out how you're going to fix it, which is what I did here. So here we go.
I got that hole a little bit too close and it broke through, so put a pin in a little bit further back, which is what I should have done before. I screwed up. Yep, even me, I can screw up. And now, so what we're going to do, I drilled a hole through that, tap that, we're going to put this pin in there. We're going to put that one in with a little bit of epoxy. And that epoxy will, if there's any voids, it'll help seal them up, which I don't think there is, but I got all the way across there, so, but just in case. Alright, so Okay. Now we'll let that dry and we'll be back and carry on. Okay, so we've got the pins in. I did it. I don't want to uncover right now. The epoxy's still wet. But I drilled too close over here and it broke through. So what I did was I went ahead and ran another pin through here and got it. If you see, it comes right out on the bottom down there. Right at the bottom of the freeze plug. And that's exactly what we were shooting for. I should have done it here in the first place and left it alone, but I was getting greedy and tried to get up here too close. So what I did was I drilled this way through that pin, through that repair pin. I drilled this way, so the pins intersect like, well, the pins intersect like so. All right. Now I'm going to have to cut the bottom of that pin off right there, and then I'm going to have to machine just the very top of this. And I say machine, I'll just grind it off and sand it down and get the contour of the freeze plug hole. It's fine. These freeze plug holes have so many rust pits in them anyway. I'm probably going to have to epoxy these in just to be on the safe side. But anyway, I digress. So I screwed that up, but I fixed it. So now we're going to carry on. I'm going to show you what you're supposed to do. Like I said, don't get greedy. I got way up in here, and you saw me screw that up. So I came back here, drilled it, and then I cross-drilled it this way and put another pin basically intersecting in the crack to give me enough material here to repair this freeze plug hole. So now I'm going to show you on the next hole how you do that without screwing it up. So we'll be back. Okay, so now that we've got that taken care of for right now while that's drying, we're going to go ahead and drill this one. And I'm going to be a little more conservative with that one. Let's see what we can tear up. So, in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grind because I really need to drill right there in that corner to get the angle that I need. So I'm going to grind a little V out right there so I can drill there. So, find the die grinder. Okay. That ought to get me in about the right spot. Now we'll throw the magnafluxer back on there again so I can see the crack. All right. Okay, now I'll put a punch mark right there. I'm going to move the camera around to this side real quick so that you guys can see from this angle what we're doing. Okay, now you can see the crack goes all the way down into there. You can see where it goes to. I don't know where my little flashlight went. It doesn't show to go to the bottom of that, but I guarantee you it probably does. So like I said, we're going to drill from here that way to cover that crack internally. Hopefully I don't screw this one up. So I need to go about that angle right there. Let's see if we can do this without breaking the drill bit. Oh yeah, perfect. Now, if you guys can see that line, now you can see the drill dust lined up on the crack right there, and you see that it's come right out the bottom. The hole has come right out of the bottom here, and that is exactly what we wanted. Now we're going to tap that. We're going to put a pin in that. Now, even though there's still going to be crack left on the outside right here, it's going to be covered on the inside from the bottom to the top, and we won't have to remachine. All I have to do is cut the bottom of that pin off. I'm feeling a little resistance there, and I don't really understand why. Lube him up and go again. Widen that out a little bit. Okay, now you can see we're starting to come up the freeze plug hole right there, so we want to stop. So we're going to test fit a repair pin and see where it actually comes down to. We don't want to get up there too far. Yeah, we're going to have to go a little more. What we want to get enough, on a situation like this, we want to put just enough on there, or just enough sticking out of there, that we have to grind a little bit, but we have a little bit of the freeze plug, or, at least half or so of the freeze plug surface left there. So there we go. That's going to put just enough pin out that I can just shape the bottom of that with a die grinder very carefully, like, and that should seal. Now, if you notice where it's sticking out the bottom of the freeze plug hole there, we've got the crack in between it. So now we can carry on, going this way. So that's how we started. All right, let me clean this hole out. We'll go ahead and put this pin in, break it off, and I'm going to go ahead and shape that one and show you what I'm talking about. Now again, I'm going to mix a little epoxy for this one just because of where it's at. I don't know, probably not necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway. In case you guys are wondering, this epoxy is 3M epoxy. I'll get y'all the number. I'll put the number in the description. I can't remember what it is, and it's so the tubes are so messed up you can't read it. But anyway, I'll get you the number on this. This is the same epoxy I use in intake ports whenever I'm shaping intake ports, or if I break through or something like that and have to use epoxy. Same stuff. It works great. It's good for, I can't remember how many bajillion degrees, and it works good though. Alright. We'll take... And I don't know why. Maybe I'm doing wrong. I've done this my whole life, but anytime I'm in a critical area, I still use Loctite, and I kind of mix the Loctite and the epoxy together. It's always seemed to work. I've never had a leak. But it is what it is. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing. That's what I'm going to continue to do. on, get down in there. I got that trick from another old engine builder, and that was my dad. So he's the one that told me to do that, so that's the way we do it, and it's always worked out, so I ain't changed it. Probably not necessary. Probably could go with just the Loctite or the epoxy. But it is what it is. Alright, so now that we've got that done, we can just grind. We can start pinning our crack from here over to the other one. So that's got to dry for 24 hours, so I'll be back tomorrow to shape that, and I'll shape this one too, and then we'll fix our crack that's across here. No big thing. You get that out of there. Alright. Now the rest of these, from here on over, I'll probably use 235s, the bigger pins, just to cover some ground. I use these smaller pins because it's kind of in a delicate area. If I'd have moved this on back just a little bit more, I could have used a 235. But man, this is hit and miss. You're gonna. It's just like this one here. I got it too close, and had to fix it. You know, and that's something else. If you make a mistake, don't panic. Just analyze it, fix it. I know this repair will work. I've done that, or I've broke through. It's no big deal. Be there from now on. And anybody wants to hate on it, well, you know what? You know what I got to say to you. So, we'll be back. I've got to let that dry, and I'll come back and shape that. Then we'll fix this crack. We'll freeze plug it up. And we will see if we got any leakies, which I don't think we will, but if we do, we'll address it then. Alright, we'll be back. We're going to go ahead and grind this one here. Well, y'all see on, this one here. Well, y'all see on the camera. I'm going to change the grinding bit. Guess we made an appearance from O'Reilly's.
Ow!
Oh, you were already in the picture.
Yeah, I'm really white. Wow, I look like a ghost.
So anyway, I made a big screw up, Misty. I actually drilled that in the wrong spot, and then I had to go back and pin it, and then drill it and cross pin it. That's a very difficult, stressful thing to do. So now I gotta fix it, or I already fixed it. Now I gotta grind it. 4 inches.
Sitting on that table.
O'Reilly.
Oh, how much are these parts? Ooh.
So what do you like, the assistant manager now?
Dude! Someone said, can I talk to the manager instead of talking to a woman? And I turned around and looked at Brian, and I said, well, I mean, Brian, you want to talk to them? He said, I'm not the manager. And then he said, I'm not the manager, as he's eating a bag of chips. And I said, I guess you're going to have to talk to me.
Now I'm probably going to jiggle the camera all around while I'm doing this, but... Now we're gonna get that as close as we can, but we don't want to go past the freeze plug. We're pretty close right there. Now I got to get it on the bottom. And if anything, you want it low, not high, because you can fill it in with whatever sealant you're using. If it's high, it'll actually push out on the freeze plug and it'll leak around the sides of it. Ask me how I know. Okay, so we're pretty much there on that one. I need to grind just a little bit on the bottom of that. Okay, there we are. Now I will switch to a sanding wheel and kind of shape that out right there. Well, it's actually, yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, so give me just a second. I gotta put the sanding wheel on. I see lots of editing in this video. Hi.
Hola, señor. Hola, Miss Dora. That's what that reminded me of.
Girl, you crazy. You crazy as hell. Alright, so now I got my sanding wheel on. Ugh. The freeze plug holds pretty rough. Alright, now I think that'll be just fine. We got that hole taken care of. I'm gonna Yep, that's gonna be just fine. Okay. So now we got that hole taken care of. Now we'll move on to this other hole over here and I'll grind it and then we can start pinning across here. And do the same thing with it. I guess I'll put y'all back on that side so you can see me grind that pin too. Be right back. And we're back. Now we're going to do this one. Like I said, if you notice, I'm being very careful not to get into this. Now, I will when I get here. When I get right there, I will. But I will just barely graze that. I'm going to try to get that down to the same size. And we're pretty much there, right there. So now what I'll do, because there's still a little high spot right there. I could grind that off on the bottom if I wanted. There. Now, looks like a regular freeze plug hole. And it is. We're going to take this baby right here. There we go, finished. Like I said, it's better for it to be low than high. And right there, I mean, now if I went and got a dial bore gauge and measured that, yeah, it's probably not going to be perfect. But a frost plug will conform to the hole as long as it's not way out around or all messed up. So it's not critical. That's why when we put these freeze plugs back in, we use sealer. This freeze plug hole over here, the other one we fixed, the one I screwed up on, the actual hole, if I can get you over there, is so rust pitted all the way around. Now this one I will probably epoxy in, not because of this repair, but because of all of these. Let me see if I can get you in closer so you can see them. All of that right there that you're seeing right below my finger right there on that edge. Let me try to get a better shot. Nope. There we go. All of that in there is rust pit. Every bit of it is rust pit. So I'll clean that out a little better with a wire brush, and then when I put the freeze plug in, I'll put epoxy on it, knock it in. It'll be fine. So this freeze plug hole over here, it's in pretty good shape. So all I need to do now is finish repairing this crack here, and this block will be good to go. So I guess that's what we're going to do. We're going to carry out. First thing I need to do is find my crack again. Where'd the blower nozzle go? There it is. Look at that. One crackle lay right there. So now we're gonna take off from this pin here, which means we're gonna have to kind of go at a little bit of an angle. Right there. Okay, so okay, now I think I'm going to go ahead and stick a 235 pin in there, so I'm going to drill that hole a little bit bigger. Okay, now we can use a 235 pin, and we can go a little faster. What I have over here is a complete mess. For the sake of the video, I usually do this over there. Just trying to get her done on the video. I don't even know if y'all was in camera there. Yeah, y'all wasn't even in camera. Look at me go. I don't even know how to run the damn camera anymore. Okay. Now the next hole we drill, because we're at an angle here, so we're going to have to start getting that angle back flat so we can go down with these pins. But you don't want a situation to where you have one pin sideways like this and one like this, because if you got one going straight down and one going sideways, then up here is all you've got. So we're going to start gradually turning those pins around. Bam! Alright, that was done. Next. So this one we're going to drill at an angle, but not as much of an angle. We're going to kind of, instead of drilling it like this, we're going to kind of drill it this way. So we're still and yeah, I didn't even punch mark that one. I just stay in the camera shot. And we're going to gradually start turning that this way. And then when we get to the other end, we're going to do the same thing, only the other direction. Now, once I get turned here, I'm going to cut you off, and because it's rinse and repeat all the way till we get to the other end, and then I'll turn you back on then. Now, luckily enough on this, I can see the crack. I mean, it's so obvious where it's at. Sometimes you got to keep putting the magnafluxer on there to see where you're at, because the crack is so small. In this case, it's wide ass open. As long as you stay in the confines of that crack, as long as you covered it, that's all you need to do. Cover it, pin it, it will seal. I guarantee you, it will seal. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. The next one I'm going to show you a little trick to where we actually get two uses out of one pin. I think I can do that, because that's what I'm going to start doing. I'll use half the pin. And then I'll come back and make the hole in the next hole bigger and use the other half of the pin. It saves you some material there. But right now I can't find. There it is. That one I could probably use if I got it down there far enough. Okay. So now we're going to move on to our next hole. This one I'm actually going to punch. Now we're going to start, because of the angle of those pins, and I'm starting to turn them around. We're not going to go in as much of an angle on this one. Oops. And since I'm going more straight down with this one, not really straight down, but not as much of an angle, I'm going to get a little closer into it that way. So I'm still at an angle, but I'm not like this anymore. I'm just kind of at a slight angle here. Oops. See if we can break the drill bit. Yeah, so we're still into that pin over here all the way down. And the next one I can pretty much just turn it straight down. Now, this is where I'm going to show you all a little trick. Keep moving it around. I'm going to get out the camera. Get back over here. Whoa. Okay. Now I'm going to run this tap down until that tap just comes a little bit out the bottom of the hole. Or, you know, out of the bottom of the cast here. And then we're just going to use the end of one of those 235 pins, and then the next one I'll tap it way up here, and then I can use the other half of it. So we get two out of one. Okay. We're going to pull that out, and I'm going to see about where that pin's going to go in at. I think I need to go just a hair more with the tap. Yeah, I believe that will come out now. Okay, so we'll spray them off. Little love Loctite. Yeah, that's perfect. It just came out the bottom. Okay. Now what I can do is go over and grind the edge of that, and then we can use this on the next one. Now we got our next one. So, okay. We're gonna wipe that off, find the crack, carry on. All right, now we've gotten down here straight enough now that I can just basically go straight down with these pins, and they will be just fine. So we're gonna move on out here a little bit, because I'm gonna get that one a little bigger, because it's gonna cover more ground. All right. Drill our hole. Now we're basically going straight down here. Man, that drill bit. Walmart drill bit. I switched from Harbor Freight to Walmart. Okay. Yes, and now we're still connected all the way down on that other connecting pin right there. So we're going to find the stupid tap where the hell now we're going to basically use the entire tap as far as we can go. Okay, can't go no further because the cylinder's in the way. So now I should be able to use this guy right here, if it's deep enough. Yeah, it's deep enough. Alright, so It just barely comes out the bottom. So we're going to pull that back out. We're going to Loctite him. And then I'm going to carry on. We're going to go all the way down to the end here. And then I'll cut you back on. Okay, so we'll be right back. Well, I guess I'll show you putting this pin in, and then we'll be right back. Like I said, after this is rinse and repeat. Okay. Alright. So, I'm going to keep drilling. I'm going to do the same thing all the way until I get to here, and then I'll show you what we do. Be right back. Alright guys, well we've reached the end down here. Let me zoom you in down here. And we've got just enough room to get one pin in. We're lucky again. I'll have to go straight down. This pin's kind of going at an angle that way just a little bit. This one here is I've kind of turned it at an angle too. I kind of went like this with them as I was drilling them. So we're going to drill right there. I'm basically going to drill kind of straight down or at an angle. This one kind of broke off a little high. I might grind that off right quick. Let me go ahead and do that. That way I can. But anyway, it's going to be perfect for just one pin. We got just enough room right in the center of that. The hell did I put the grinder? Okay. So now I can punch it right there. I can still see the crack there. Right in the dead center of those two pins right there, if you can see that on camera. So we're going to drill. We're going to punch that right in the center. And if anything, I'm going to kind of move it this way towards that pin a little bit. There we go. Now, like I said, I'm going to drill that kind of at an angle this way, but pretty much straight down. And that way it'll catch both of those pins all the way down, because I can feel this one and I can feel where the other one's at. So, come on. There we go. So this is, kind of at this angle here. Okay. And I can just kind of brush that off, and I can see that I can definitely see I've caught that pin, and I've also caught this pin. Voila. So all we got to do is tap that. We're done. Now, if we'd have had a situation to where, maybe it was off to the edge or something, you'd have had to put one more pin in there. So, anyway, we got lucky again on this side. Yay. Okay. Now, I could stop. I could have stopped a long time ago. I'm trying to get as much in there as I can to make sure that we're covering both situations there, or both pins on both sides. So I'm getting pretty close to that cylinder there, though. So, all right, we're gonna call it good. Now, I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not. I know you can see the one side over here. But we've got full coverage of this pin all the way down, which is exactly what we want. And we have full coverage on the other side. So, yes, both pins will be interlocked all the way down. That is exactly what we wanted. So I'm going to Magnaflux that real quick and make sure. But I can pretty much see it, but I'm going to Magnaflux it anyway. So we're going to dry this out. Now when you get done with all this, before you put the freeze plugs in, make sure you clean all that Loctite, epoxy, metal shavings and whatever. Make sure you clean all that shit out of there before you put the freeze plugs in it. Okay, so we're going to Magnaflux him right quick. Alright, now, it's tough to see. Where is my damn flashlight? I can't keep opening it. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, so, okay, I can, and I know you probably can't see this on camera. I do see the intersecting lines all the way down. That's what we want. So that pin will be locked in on both sides. So we're good. We're good. I think we've got a good repair here. I'm going to go ahead and put this pin in right quick. I'm going to clean all this shit out, put the freeze plugs in it, and then we're going to pressure test it. And that's that. Now, like I said, I'm going to clean all this up. Clean all this shit out of here. We're going to put the freeze plugs in it. And we're going to pressure test it. Where did that paper towel go? That is a pretty good repair. Now, like I said, now if you notice here, let me zoom you in. Here, you see the pins are stacked pretty close together. I did that because I was making this radius here to turn. But once I got in a straight line, I moved the pins, or I moved them on out. As long as they connect with each other all the way down. In other words, if both pins connect with each other all the way down on both sides, then you're fine. You're good to go. They really don't even have to do that. As long as they're within the thickness of whatever material, as long as they're screwed in, touching that and the pin next to it, at least that much all the way down, it won't leak. I like to see them touch close enough to where they touch, you know, they're threaded all the way down. But you can see how spread out they are here. You got to be careful though. If you get them too spread out, they won't connect. So, but these are all fine. Now, after we pressure test this block, if everything's good, we'll go back and we'll grind this all down, make it all pretty, and I'll hide all that. I mean, you'll still see it, but I'll hide it as best I can. And the same thing with repair on the other side. So, that being said, let me clean this block out. Let me put the freeze plugs in it, and I'll bring you back when we're pressure testing it. Okay, guys, we got our leak. I went ahead and ground this down. We got our little air pump here. You can see it in the camera. I don't know if you can or not. Anyway, yeah, here's our air pump. Let's see what it says. So we got 20 pounds on it right now, and we got this thing on the front that's leaking here a little bit. But so we've got about 20 pounds in there. Check our repair. La no leaks. Success. She's holding. She's good. She's repaired. She's ready to go. And we're still at 19.5. Like I said, up front here, I showed y'all on the last video. Right. Well, hell, I'll just take you over there. Hold on. Anyway, we have a leak right here at this connection. And we have a small leak here too. So, but we don't have any leaks in the engine itself. It's sealed up. All this is sealed up. That's how you do a repair on a block. I hope y'all learned something from this. It's not hard to do. It can be difficult at times, and especially if you made a mistake like I did, but I fixed it. So anyway, just goes to show if you can do anything you want to do, just got to do it. That's going to be it for this edition of the Mark and Misty Performance Show. Next, I got some other videos that's going to come out, but we're going to start building this next. I need to see what it's going to bore to. I got to drag my 400 over here and see what it's going to bore to, and then, like I said, I'm going to try to build them both at the same time, as long as I have funds to do so. So anyway, we'll see you guys later. God bless. Get out there and build something. Guys, check this out. So I'm going to put this at the end of this video since I haven't finished it yet. But look, it's been about 8 or so days since I finished this. I mean, you can see the surface rust on it. That's the crack that we fixed, the second one. It's been like 8 or 9 days, and I need the torque plate because I'm working on that 383 doing the clearance, which you'll see that video. But I need to pressure test it. I come over here and check this out after 8 or 9 days. It's still got pressure on it. So I think it's safe to say that was that repair is a success. What would you say? All right, guys, I just wanted to show y'all that.